where a mirror is a witness for a woman's life, a woman's feelings, a shortened form of J.S. Mills on liberty. He explains how to understand rules, why are rules necessary, what are their role in common man's life, and why we should follow them. Then you will be given class tests or assignments or surveys to do, interviews or oral test. Hello students, I am Anil, Assistant Professor of English, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. Today we shall see the syllabus of second semester BCom and see what is there inside it. In this module, we are going to see the syllabus for the second semester, pattern of evaluation, and pattern of question paper that is there for the final exam. So you have poetry part. You have 8 poems for this semester. In the previous semester also you had 8 poems, and in this semester, second semester, you have 8 more poems to study. First one is Death Be Not Proud by John Donne. This poem deals with the concept of death, how people receive death and how the poet wants it to be treated. The very title itself says that it is giving a caution to death, to be not proud. So we will see what is inside this poetry in the next video session. Second poem is My Last Duchess by Robert Browning. My Last Duchess is a dramatic monologue. Here he takes a character which speaks to a guest and he talks about his last wife, Duchess. This is an interesting poem. You will feel it really appreciative. Next is Ozymandias. Ozymandias is a poem by P.B. Shelley. In that poem, he talks about man's self-consciousness and his self-importance, which he wants to remain forever. His famous personality, he wants to preserve it for the rest of the world's life, not his life. He wants it to show it to the world that he is great. And what remains in the end, we shall know after studying this poem, Ozymandias. Next poem is Unknown Citizen by W.H. Auden. This poem deals with the concept of numbering the citizens of a country under capitalism, dictatorship, and new forms of government. What happens to its citizens? What are their role in the country? Then how it affects a citizen? And what decides his good or bad? Then comes I Too by Langston Hughes. So this poem deals with the clash between whites and blacks in America. They belong to one country, but there is racism. People of black community are not given equal opportunity. They are not treated as citizens of America. So here this poet attempts to tell that he too belongs to America. We will see how he explains it in the poem. Then is the poem Mirror by Sylvia Plath. This gives an image of a woman where a mirror is a witness for a woman's life, a woman's feelings, and the mirror is a witness to everything she does. It takes care of her, but it can't express, but it remains as a witness to whatever she goes through. Therefore, this poem is an attempt to explain the inside of a woman's feelings. Then is Mending Wall by Robert Frost. This poem talks about mending walls between human beings, between one and the other. Though he gives a beautiful picturization of wall, he brings in another character who believes in building walls. And this has got universal approach. We have to break walls between human beings. And we will see how interesting it is when we go through the poem. And the final poem is Ulysses by the Merlion. So Ulysses is one of the greatest characters in the historical mythical writings. Edwin Thumbo uses this character to explain a nation. Which nation is it? We will see when we study the poem. So it is a wonderful comparison. Taking this character Ulysses, he explains his nation's achievement, his nation's contribution, and his nation's unity. We will see this while we go through it. So these 8 poems you are going to study in this semester. These poems are very wonderful in nature. They give you a sense of enlightenment after going through this. You have prose part. In the previous semester also you had learned 4 prose points. In this also you have 4 prose parts. A self-portrait is an essay or an article given by Pandit Nehru. So this is very important at this point of time where you people are at the right time having the right to vote. When you try to choose a leader, what all things are to be considered? After going through this article, you realize how to choose a leader and how the leader's behavior change when powers are given to their hands. The second one is a romantic short story, The Night Train at Delhi by Ruskin Bond. Ruskin Bond talks about his youthful days where he encounters a girl, then something happens between them. But finally, there is a twist in the story. This is a very interesting short story. We will see in the next class what is there inside it, how he explains the story. Then comes On the Rule of the Road by A.G. Gardiner. This is a wonderful article, a shortened form of J.S. Mill's On Liberty. He explains how to understand rules, why are rules necessary, what are their role in common man's life, and why we should follow them. Again, we will look at it when we get into the class. Then After 20 Years by O. Henry is a short story. And here, in this story, he talks about 2 friends, their growth, their history, and what are they going to do, we will see in the next class. So those 8 poems and 4 prose parts is for you in this semester. After these things, you have language component and literary activity. In this part, you have 4 things to learn. You have already learned parts of speech, but in this semester, we will learn in detail what are adjectives, their types, where are they used in a given sentence, and what does it do in a sentence. We will see that in the class. Then adverbs. Most of the students get confused with adjectives and adverbs. This time we will learn what adverb is, and then we will see where it is used in a sentence and how does it affect the sentence, and when it is used in a wrong place, how it is going to change the meaning of the sentence. We will see it. Then is linkers. In grammatical term, it is conjunctions. So there are different types of conjunctions, and they should be placed in the right place to make the sentence very meaningful. If they are not used properly, it may change the meaning of the sentence. So we will see that thing in the class. Then words often confused. This means it is based on your text. It is based on your text, and these are homophones and homonyms. Homonyms. Homophones we get confused with. the sound, the spelling, things like that. And homonyms, we fail to use the words at the right place and understand the right meaning. These are called words often confused based on the textbook. So this is your syllabus. 8 poems, 4 prose and 4 literary parts. So you will understand clearly why it is given and how you should learn them. Now coming to the pattern of evaluation. How are you allotted marks and how do we decide what you have learned? So here you have first internal test, which is for 10 marks, and the second one again for 10 marks. Then you will be given class tests or assignments or surveys to do, interviews or oral test. So you will have first and second. So they carry 10 marks each, which add up to 40. And you have the term end examination, your semester examination. It carries 60 marks. So in total, you are evaluated for 100 marks. I hope you can easily score more than 75 marks. If you really study well, then you can easily score more than 90. The syllabus is very simple and easy to understand at your level. So coming to the pattern of question paper. So question paper is set for 60 marks. You have objective type questions, 8 questions into 1 marks. You will have choices here. You may choose from the questions. Therefore, you can easily score 8 marks. Then reference to the context, you have 3 questions to answer, which carry 4 marks, 3 out of 6 poetry. Then essay type questions on prose, you will have 2 questions to answer from 4 questions. So they carry 10 marks. Then essay type questions on poetry, 2 questions for 5 marks, which carry 10 marks out of 4 questions. You have choice, but I suggest you to read all those things, not for the sake of examination, but to understand what is its effect on you and how they guide you. Then from grammar and composition, you have adjectives for 5 marks. You will be given sentences and you are asked to identify the adjectives in the sentence. Then adverbs, similar questions. You will have 5 questions. You are asked to identify the adverbs in the sentence. Then linkers. You should choose the linkers and place them in the right sentence. Then words often confused, textbook based. Here also you have to choose the correct word which is suitable for the sentence and gives the right meaning. This is the question paper pattern for you. So when you see it holistically, it helps you to understand and increase your literary competitiveness. So with all this, we will meet in the next class. We will see what is there in the poem and their meanings, and we will have fun in the class. We will understand what is inside the prose, the stories, how the authors have written, explained their experiences in life, how they have tried to explain things which are very tough to explain. For example, rules of the road. It is very simple to understand, but he extends why rules. So these things help you to expand your knowledge base. So we will meet in the next class and start with the poetry. I wish you all the best for this semester. Thank you.